Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie Herbman, and you back upside the head with another hot banger boogie. Hey, look, go tell somebody your homie Herbman is on. And if you're new to this platform, welcome. Go ahead and hit that logo right at the bottom of your screen right there and hit that notification bell so that you never miss what we bring to the platform. And remember, you guys, it is free to like, share, and subscribe. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about vibrant health, okay? And just how do we obtain this vibrant health, and what are the benefits of being vibrantly healthy, okay? And we're going to talk about this, and we want to walk you guys through how we can obtain vibrant health. What does that mean for us? Okay. And I want to give you a historical context of what we're talking about. And I also want to add a little bit of psychology in there so that we can kind of understand exactly what it takes. Okay. So when we're talking about historically, right, the ancient people, all right, we got to talk about the psychological aspect of being able to change in the environment and be able to create and be able to sustain life well enough to be able to survive and reproduce. Okay. And a lot of our ability to adapt to the environment, to the climate, to situations, allow us the opportunity, all right, to have longevity, to create, all right, in this particular atmosphere. I'll say that again. Our ability to adapt is what makes us very special creatures. Okay. And our ability to create with our hands is another aspect that really took us from through evolution and really crowned us king of the evolutionary cycle. It's because of what we can do with these, okay? Because of what we can do with these. Now, understanding that, it was because of what we can do with this. And when you're talking about how we think, our ability to think, and we're talking still about the ancient people, our ability to think was never implanted in any one idea. All right. It was never set in any one thing. All right. Our ability to think was always ever flowing like a river. We were always in contact, and we always stayed connected to what we call the airwaves. Right. If you were always sensitive to where you needed to go, what you needed to do, and why. Right. You were always conscious of what time it was, what time it looked like it was, what the climate felt like. Did you need to go in for shelter? Did you need to find shelter? Did you need to build for shelter? Did you need to hurry up and try to find water? Did you need to hurry up and try to find somewhere to be safe and secure? And how did you know that you were being preyed upon? How did you know to go to this land or that land? Or how did you know that you were going to build a boat and it was going to stay afloat? How did we know these things? Right? It's because we was in constant mind flow, and that energy allowed us to be able to live within the moment and get the most out of that particular moment and be able still to move on, never really being set in one thing. Here's the problem with being mindset. It's very hard for you to change. And once you set in on a concept, an ideal, it's hard for you to remove yourself from that ideal or to uproot yourself from that idea to another one. It's very hard when we have our mind set on something to change it from that particular thing. But when you're in mind flow, it is very easy to change and to grow and to develop. It is very easy to maneuver because you never really set on anything, although you may get into it and get the information out of it and live within that moment for what the moment prescribes. And then you're able to be open-minded and open, sensitive, your spiritual sensitivity enough to move on to the next lesson, to the next understanding. Understanding that it all is an accumulation of what you need in order to be vibrant in what you're trying to do. Now understand that mental concept, because that really truly is the way to vibrant health. See, our ancient people knew that they needed to stay in constant parallel with nature. And in order to do that, they realized that nature was ever changing. And we also gained that ability to adapt and to change with the environment. Now, the World Health Organization says that over 95% of the world is considered unhealthy. Another 3% is in critical disease state. And another 3 may be just sick or in the hospital or dealing with some chronic issue. Now, this 94% of people who are supposed to be unhealthy is not saying that they have any type of major disease or anything like that. They still may get sick on and off, but we'll still consider them to be unhealthy. So when you look at that, 94% of the world is considered unhealthy. That should shock you, considering that human adaptation is one of our unique abilities. It seems as if we are being engineered to be set on certain things, and we're not able to make the proper decisions to change with the ever-changing environment. And that could be a really big reason of why most of us are just simply unhealthy. All right. So now, how do we get to vibrant health? Now, what we're talking about here is simply about change. And we have to understand that change happens on a psychological and a physiological level. Okay. So that's basically mentally and physically. Now, there are some parameters in between, but these are pretty much your biggest categories. All right. And then come out of these are behaviors and structural adaptations that you can also be able to input in here. But these are your founding blocks of change. Now, from a psychological understanding, we had to adapt, remember, to help us to survive and to reproduce. Okay. And so there were mental stressors that came through because of this change. Now, all stress is not bad. Okay. Some stress you need on the particular body to allow it to improve its cognitive abilities or allow it to improve its performance. Okay. Because you need that stress, you need that challenge, okay, on the body to get that body to get to the next level of development. Okay, so all stress is not bad stress, especially when we're talking about our ancient people, but more or less when we're talking about what we're doing today. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, young or old, it doesn't matter what region of the world you're in, this will apply to you. All right. And so remembering that this is the biggest thing to life is change, our ability to adapt. All right. And we had to do that from a mental standpoint, and we had to do that from a physical standpoint. Now, from a physical standpoint, we talked about this in my last video, which is metabolism and disease. Metabolism is basically a biochemical process of change, changing things from one particular structure to another one for various reasons. Okay. And so metabolism is only a process of change that goes on within the body. It's a process of change. Okay. And when you're understanding that, your body also goes through a physical stress for these changes to happen. Remember that your body needs energy. So anytime your digestive system is cranking up and getting ready to go, your body is utilizing energy for that. Okay, your body utilizes energy for your digestive system, for pretty much everything, for your metabolism. I mean, all of the functionality that your body goes through to keep you thriving and alive. Your body is utilizing the energy. I'm utilizing energy right now to be able to bring this video to you, this information to you. Okay, because you have to remember a lot of this information as well as be able to talk to you about it on the video, and that in itself is allowing some changes to go through my body that is utilizing energy as you see it right now. You're utilizing energy as you listen to the video. Okay, so that's just how easy it is for our bodies to be under some stress. But remember, stress is good in some restraints. Long-term stress is bad for the health. Okay, long-term stress, staying under stress for long periods of time will wreak havoc on the particular system. So what is all of this about? mind flow, being able to change and grow and develop. Okay, understanding that our ancient people did this in order to build the world that we know of today. And if we ever want to go back to building a world, we have to get back to knowing how to change and how to be in mind flow and not mindset, understanding the dichotomy of the body and the mind and the spirit, and understanding that change has to take place, human adaptation has to take place, biological plasticity has to take place, and that's all we should be really doing right now, is changing. We got to evolve and change like we have always been doing. And the reason why I'm talking about this here is because there is not only does humans need to continue to go through this process, but there are herbs that also will help us with this process of change on a day-to-day basis. There are herbs that you should not be taking every day unless there is an issue. You should not be using these herbs for no other reason other than the reason that they are created for. But there are some herbs out here that you can take every day that will help you with this process and will also be helpful to your health. They will improve your performance every day, whether you play sports or whether you are a student or whether you are a teacher or whether you are a manager. Whatever you are, there are herbs that help us with this stress of change, this biological process of change. And I'm gonna tell you something, these herbs do not take anything from you, and they actually don't even give you anything. Their special ability is to adapt in your body. And these herbs are simply called the adaptogens, okay? The adaptogens herbs, all right? And these herbs have been considered the super herbs of today, all right? And a lot of people know these as ginsengs, okay? And you have adaptogens like Siberian ginseng, all right, or otherwise eleuthero, okay? And we have a lot of these herbs on our website, so you can always go to loveherbman.com and look at what we have. We have over hundreds of herbs, all right? So you have herbs like eleuthero, okay, rhodiola, all right, schizandra berry, and I know you guys have heard of ashwagandha, maca root, holy basil. All right, a lot of these particular herbs you can take on a day-to-day basis that'll help out with the physiological change that goes on in the body and the psychological change. It helps you out with the stressors of the day. It improves your performance. Look at what we're talking about. The stressors, performance, mental performance, physical performance. Okay, and these adaptogenic herbs help you first with metabolism. All right, secondly, they can help benefit the organ systems. Thirdly, they can help benefit the vital organs. Now look at what I just said. They can first help with the change in the physical body. Then they can help with the organ systems in the body, your digestive system, your cardiovascular system, your reproductive system, your lymphatic system, all of these different systems. These particular herbs can help with. Why? Because they have the same ability to do what you're doing, but just on the inside of you to create what? Balance, homeostasis. All right, a balance between the physiological and the psychological aspects of adaptation on an everyday basis. You have to adapt every day. You have to adapt every day. The weather changes every day. It could be hot today at 95, and it could be a little cooler tomorrow at 75, and you have to change for that. You have to change for that, okay? if your water is not getting as hot as it was, or if it's colder than it was. You have to change for that. If something happens on the job that was different from yesterday, and it was more work or less work today, you have to change for that. How you feel throughout the day determines what you want to eat. You're going to have to change for that. You got to change for it. You have to adapt every single day. And there's a perfect balance that has to happen to keep you in homeostasis. So these herbs are equipped to handle the changes. As you adapt, they adapt. If you're too high here, they bring you back to balance. If you're too high here, they bring you back to balance. If you're too high here, they bring you back to balance. If you're too high here, they bring you back to balance. They constantly try to keep homeostasis in the body. They constantly try to help you out with your day-to-day challenges, your day-to-day stresses, your day-to-day ability to survive and reproduce what you did yesterday. So this is why this is very important. And this is why it's so beneficial to understand change, mind flow, being able to flow with the mind and the body and the spirit and with nature will cause you to be at one with the inertia, the energy of the world. And you can't tell me that when it's time to change and knowing how and when and why can reduce the stresses of these changes. So again, you need herbs that will help you with the everyday challenges of change, of human adaptation. Remembering that you have enemies that are coming in to try to infiltrate this balance. And they're going to be called microbes, all right, and viruses, toxins, environmental. You got humans that are vying for some space that could throw your balance off. You got hormonal imbalances, estrogen dominance. Okay, you got all these chemicals and pesticides and herbicides. You got how we take medicine and how we look at medicine. You know, taking antibiotics and all these different things that's causing the body to be off balance. Genetics. It's causing the body to be off balance. Hereditary issues causing the body to be off balance. Bad habits and healthy lifestyles that we have, unhealthy lifestyles, causing the body to be off balance. And we need help with these things. How can we change? Well, we gotta first of all get out of the mindset that we've been socially engineered to construct within ourselves, and we gotta get back into mind flow and get back into contact with change every day, and not being afraid of change and evolution. And we got to get back into the balance of the social change as well as the physiological and the psychological change. Okay. And then we got to get something in ourselves that help us with this on a day-to-day basis. And these are the adaptogenic herb community. Okay. So you need to go and do research on these super herbs that all of the herbal community knows about and is trying to continue to utilize and study and research to figure out how we can continue to use these. And these are just not herbs. They're also some mushrooms, some reishi mushrooms, some cordyceps. A lot of them are going to be considered adaptogenic herbs. They really, really do a great job at helping us go through this particular change. And as we go through this, these herbs continue to keep and do their job on the inside. And if we can keep a perfect homeostasis with our metabolism, within our organ system, and to our vital organs, then we have just achieved vibrant health. And again, you can do this in the young, the old, the male, the female, no matter what region of the world you are. Okay? You can do this. You can do this. And the only thing you need to remember is that this is only about that and ultimately about this. And in order for you to change your situation, you first have to change your mind. That will change your body. Hey man, I love you guys, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Go tell somebody your homie Herbman was on. I love you. Until next time, love Herbman.